Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ. It is Monday night. Phoenix is in our rear view mirror. Let's talk about how the race ended up and what happened with my pork yesterday. Before we dive into the race, let's talk about that pork. I burned it. Yes, that's right. Even chefs with damn near 20 years in the restaurant industry still manage to burn stuff. And mine was a result of not paying attention and being distracted. I was in a hurry to get the Sunday video put out. So I got the pork going in the braising liquid, hopped on the computer, started editing the video so that I could get it out before the race. And well, I forgot about the pork and started smelling a little bit of a burnt smell. That's when I realized, oh crap. I rushed over, grabbed the pot, and used some tongs to remove whatever pork was not stuck to the bottom of the pan. Ended up putting that in just a shallow saute pan, put some water over top of it, put a lid back on it, got it back to a simmer, let it go again, trying to save that pork. It continued to cook for about another hour. The liquid started getting low. Took a bite of it, and all I could taste was burn. So I thought I was done. But knowing that there are ways to save that, I decided to use what I had at my advantage. I grabbed the marinated pineapple that I was going to use later in the process. That was marinated in water and achiote. I just drained that liquid onto the pork, got it back to a simmer, let it go for another hour, added a pinch of salt, tasted it. The burn taste, that acrid taste, was toned way down. So I saved it just well enough, I believe. At least well enough for me to eat it. It worked. I ended up putting it on a sheet pan with the pineapple, threw it in the broiler for about 30 minutes to get the pineapple cooked. I checked it after about 20, and then 30 was about how long it needed. Put a nice little crust on the outside of the pork. The inside of it remained tender. The pineapple was delicious, cooked and marinated in that achiote. As you guys saw on the short that I made yesterday, I ended up making just a bowl with some cauliflower rice to go along with it. So that worked out really well. Some pickled jalapenos on it. It all ended up tasting pretty good. The burn flavor was mostly gone. The acid from the pineapple and the pickled jalapeno worked really well to get rid of that burn flavor. So that's how I recovered. Let's talk about how the Cup guys recovered from a fairly quick race at Phoenix yesterday. First and foremost, 3 in a row, Christopher Bell. 3 bells in Phoenix are ringing. He's got himself another win. Who would have expected Christopher Bell to come out this hot this early in the season? Hopefully not an omen for the rest of the year. We saw last year William Byron got off to a hot start and then fizzled out. Midway through the season into the summer. Obviously, Seabell with Joe Gibbs Racing is a great combination. I think they're really at that maturation stage in their relationship together. He's getting the best equipment he can. He's working as hard as he can. He's producing the best results that he can with one of the best teams in the series. So good things on his horizon, no doubt. And we're seeing the maturation of that team coming together, really putting together strong cars week in and week out, being one of those contenders you're going to talk about every week. So good on Seabell. I did notice during the broadcast that the seats were a little empty. I heard this morning that Phoenix did not sell out for the first time in several years. Maybe the fans out there in Arizona are starting to get wise. The on-track product has generally not been that good. If they're going to spend the money on a NASCAR race, they're probably going to end up spending it now on the championship race. What I hear is that Phoenix is a great facility, very fan-oriented, fan-friendly. They remodeled everything to tailor towards a great fan experience. But the on-track product hasn't been that great over the past several years. Now, I say all of that to then turn around and say yesterday's race was actually pretty good. The tire option, I don't believe that anybody other than Joey Logano got a long enough run on the option tire to show how much wear that tire was going to produce and how much it would actually affect a run. Most of the people that had their option tires saved them for the final stage. That final stage got cut a couple of times because of cautions. We never really got to see how that option tire was going to play out on a long run for a large group of drivers. Nonetheless, the strategy that was involved in all of it definitely made an impact on the race, made it interesting. It felt like there were a lot of cautions yesterday, tires going out, brakes breaking a couple of times, general carnage. We'll talk about one of those big carnages here in a moment. The race itself, as Phoenix is well known for, clean air was king. Whoever was out front managed to stretch out a lead. Never really had one person dominate over the other. Whoever got out front is who was able to stretch out that lead. The other thing that I want to touch on is the penalty for Joey Logano early on in the race. I think that was the right call by NASCAR. It is a black and white rule in their rule book. Kevin Harvick said as much during the broadcast, and he agreed with the call. I agree with the call. Harvick, you and I are on the same page. I'm sure you're watching this, nodding your head in agreement that black and white call needs to be made. Doesn't matter who it gets made on. The leader, the former champion, doesn't matter. If that's the rule, then enforce the rule. It turned out Logano really didn't lose too much throughout the race. They played some strategy, led a bunch of laps. That strategy with the option tire didn't exactly play out, but it wasn't like that penalty absolutely ruined his day. He and his team made it work. They figured out a way to recover at least something from it. Even if it wasn't the points they wanted, they still persevered over top of that penalty. Let's talk about the carnage and the way that that affected me this weekend. Y'all following along know that Mom and I have a regular season points battle with each other. This past week, Mom had first pick. She went with William Byron. Byron ran up front most of the day, led laps, ran in the top 10. Very strong pick for Mom. She had the first one out of the gate this week. Ended up finishing 6th. Put her point total now to 22 points. I, on the other hand, picked Carson Hocevar. Boy, was that a dumb call. He got shuffled to the back. He shouldn't have been back there, as he said in his interview. Got collected in a 4-wide squeeze coming off of turn 2. Ended his day and cost me big in the points. All day long, they showed him at 37th. I rechecked the finish this morning. Somehow he got moved to 36th. So 36 more points added to mine. I'm up to 67. I am now a full 45 points out on the regular season points battle between myself and my mom. First time in a long time in our competition that I have been a full race behind. That means Vegas coming up next. I need to make safe predictions, not bold predictions. I have first pick this week. We'll see how it plays out when the Cup guys head out to Vegas. All 3 series are going to be out there, Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. Getting long-winded here today on Monday night. I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. Start thinking about what you're making for Sunday's dinner with the Las Vegas Cup race coming up. I'll see y'all Thursday night with a preview of that Vegas race. Until then, enjoy your week. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.